Hello friends, we'll be discussing about the Sphagnum protonema and sporophyte in this video lecture. As you can see that these are the plants of Sphagnum in the natural condition. These are the Sphagnum moss, or you can say the mat-like structure of the Sphagnum present in the nature. And this is the main gametophore or gametophytic plant of Sphagnum. So in the case of Sphagnum, the main plant body is divided into this is a stem, or you can say the axis, and it shows the presence of leaves which are spirally arranged on this axis or stem, and three types of branches which arises from this stem. So first type of branch is known as the comma branch or head, which you can see over here, a group of branches which are present at the tip or the apical position. Some of the branches, they grow in the pendant condition or parallel to this axis, and these are known as the hanging branches or pendant branches. And some of the branches, they grow away from this main axis, and these are known as the divergent branches. So you can see that this is the adult gametophore, and these are the plants how they look like in nature. And one is the juvenile stage, as I told you, that is known as the protonema. Okay, so germination of spore and protonema formation. So how protonema is formed, we will see in this slide. Protonema formation takes place after the germination of the spore. As you can see that this A diagram, it is showing you the spore of Sphagnum. The spore of the Sphagnum shows the two walls. The outer wall is known as the exosporium, and the inner wall is known as the endosporium. This is the triradiate mark. So this, at the time of germination, what happens, this exosporium, it get ruptured, and the endosporium, which is the inner wall, actually it comes out by the rupturing of the outer wall. So the germ tube comes out in the form of a protuberance, you can say, or in the form of a germ tube, and then it increases in size and it divides by the divisions, and it gives rise to a this multicellular filamentous structure, which later on forms a apical cell. You can see here with two cutting faces, this apical cell is present over here, and it gives rise to a lobed structure which you call as the protonema. So protonema is a structure which is a lobed structure, thalloid, and it is one cell in thickness, and it shows the presence of rhizoids also. These rhizoids are colorless structures, and they fix this protonema into the soil, and rhizoids shows the presence of septa. The characteristic feature of the septa is that the septa are placed obliquely inside the rhizoid. So rhizoids are multicellular as well as they are septate, and septa is obliquely situated. So this is a characteristic feature of rhizoids of Sphagnum, as you know that Sphagnum belongs to Bryopsida. So what happens on this protonema, some of the cells which are present at the periphery or at the margin, they becomes meristematic and they form this bud-like structure. And this bud again forms the gametophore, the structure which we have seen in the previous slide, this one. Okay, so this is the adult structure which is known as the gametophore or the main plant body. It forms later, but this structure which is known as the protonema, it forms first after the germination of the spore. So you can see that protonema is a juvenile structure which forms just after the germination of the spore, and later on this protonema, by this bud, by the multiplication and division in this bud, later on the adult gametophore is formed. Okay. So in this slide you can see that this is the germinating spore. In this diagram you can see over here, this is the spore. It shows the germination and it forms a filamentous structure, and later it gives rise to this multicellular structure which forms rhizoids as well as the further gametophore on its upper side. You can see these rhizoids are showing you the obliquely placed septa. Look, these are the septa, but they are obliquely placed. And after that, after when this mature, this filament matures and shows more divisions, this protonema will be formed, and you can see that this is the thallus protonema, showing the formation of the rhizoids, and over this thallus protonema a bud is situated, and this bud will further give rise to the leafy gametophore. So I hope now it is clear that what is protonema, how protonema is formed, and how this protonema give rise to the this leafy gametophore, or you can see the male adult plant. Okay, in this diagram you can see over here there are primary protonema, secondary protonema and tertiary protonema. So sometimes what happens, this primary protonema give rise to the secondary protonema because some of the cells which are present at the margins of this primary protonema, they become meristematic and they start dividing and they give rise to the secondary protonema. And in the same way, the secondary protonema give rise to the tertiary protonema. So this is all about the structure of the protonema. Now, a few points regarding the protonema. Protonema is the stage of young gametophyte which develops by the germination of the spore. We have discussed this thing earlier, that protonema is a juvenile stage and this protonema stage is formed just after the development of the spore. It is thalloid, multicellular, irregularly lobed and it is colorless in structure and it shows the presence of multicellular rhizoids. So, rhizoids are present in the protonema and these rhizoids, they actually fix the protonema, or you can say they anchor the protonema on the substratum or on the soil. The secondary protonema may also arise from the marginal cells of the primary protonema. The adult gametophore is formed from any marginal cell of the primary or secondary protonema. As I told you that adult gametophore formation takes place on protonema. So first the spore will germinate. Spores are formed inside the capsule. As you know, capsule is a part of sporophyte. So spores are formed inside the capsule. They will come out and they will germinate and they give rise to the protonema. And then protonema will form the adult gametophore. Okay. Now, this is the structure of the archegonium. Now, why we are discussing here the structure of the archegonium or the archegonium? Because the fertilization takes place inside the archegonium. The egg will get fertilized and then it will form the sporophyte. So, let us see how the archegonium looks like. So, you can see that here are groups of the archegonium and they are present at the apical position or the tip of the branch. So, actually it is the archegonial branch, or you can say it is a female branch. And at the tip of the female branch, you can see there are group of the archegonium. And these archegonium, they are covered by several leaves. So, the leaves which cover the archegonium are known as the pericytial leaves, or you can say the pericytial bracts. So, these are the structure, these are the leaves which are known as the pericytial leaves and they cover the group of archegonium, as you can see. And these archegonium are present at the tip or at the apical portion of the female branch. You can see that this is a single archegonium. The archegonium structure is same as it is showing the bulbous venter and a long neck, and this venter shows the presence of single egg. Above the egg, a ventral canal cell is present and a few neck canal cells are present and they are covered by the cover cells. The cover cells may be 8 to many. So this is the structure of the archegonium. Okay, so the archegonium has a long stalk as we have discussed and it shows the venter. Inside the venter, egg is present and ventral canal is present. 8 to 9 neck canal cells are present and which are surrounded by the jacket. As you can see that the archegonium is also surrounded by the jacket. So the archegonium, it shows the presence of cover cells. These cover cells are 8 or more than 8 these cover cells which are present at the tip of the archegonium. And the group of archegonia are borne terminally, as I told you that they are present at the apical position and they always remain surrounded by some leaves. They are known as pericytium leaves or pericytial leaves. Okay. So, we have seen the structure of the archegonium. Now, fertilization will take place in the same manner as in other bryophytes and the water is essential for the process of fertilization. And during the fertilization, the antherozoid fuses with the egg and it forms a zygote, and zygote is a diploid structure. Now, you can see in this diagram that these are the sporophyte. You can see that this is the sporophyte and these are the leaves. You can see this is actually the archegonial branch and these are the pericytial leaves, and inside the archegonium was present, and after the fertilization it will show the formation of the sporophyte. You can see that this is the capsule and this is the pseudopodium. Okay. Look, the structure of the sporogonium. Now, the body of the sporogonium, it consists of a foot and a spherical capsule. So, in this case, in the case of sphagnum, the sporogonium does not show the very conspicuous seta. The seta is inconspicuous. So, actually, it is showing you only the large bulbous foot and showing a spherical capsule at the tip. So, capsule wall is several cell thick and it is also shows the presence of cuticle, or you can say the capsule wall is cuticularized, And the epidermis bears several stomata which are actually rudimentary. Rudimentary stomata means they are functionless. Stomata are present on the epidermis but they are functionless. So the epidermis forms a ring-like annulus towards the apical region of the capsule, delimiting the disc-shaped operculum which is present at the capsule body. So there is a structure which is disc-shaped. And that is known as the operculum, or you can say a cap-like structure is present on the capsule and it is known as the operculum, and the operculum is covered by a ring-like structure which is known as the annulus. So remember these two terms. Actually, operculum is a disc-shaped structure which is present at the apical region of the capsule, and this operculum is again, you can say, covered by a structure which is known as annulus, which is a ring-like structure. Okay, so inside the capsule there is a central region which is known as the columella. Now the central region columella is the sterile region because it doesn't show any spore, but over this columella there is a horseshoe shaped structure, or you can say a dome shaped structure, which is known as the spore sac, and inside the spore sac the haploid spores are present. So this is the third point which I have discussed, that capsule shows the presence of a central columella. As I told you, that columella is the sterile region, and over this columella there is a presence of dome shaped structure which is known as the spore sac, and inside the spore sac these spores are present. So the whole sporogonium is shifted out of the pericytium due to prolongation of archegonial branch, the pseudopodium. Now you have to understand this fourth point. What is pseudopodium? Pseudopodium, podium means actually foot, but in this case the foot is known as pseudopodium. Why? Because the whole sporogonium, when it becomes a little mature, what happens, this archegonia are surrounded by pericytial leaves, I told you, but after the formation of this sporogonium, when it become matures, the archegonial branch prolongs, the elongation of the archegonial branch take place, and due to the elongation of this archegonium, this sporogonium, it comes out of these pericytial leaves, which I told you initial, that some leaves they will cover the sporogonium. So this entire sporogonium will come out of the pericytium leaves, and the portion is known as the lower portion, which helps the sporogonium to come out of the pericytial leaves, is known as the pseudopodium. Okay, so the swollen sac distal end of the pseudopodium encloses the foot of the sporogonium, and it is known as the vaginula, and the lower portion which encloses the foot like portion is known as the vaginula. So okay, now let us see, this is the diagram of the sporophyte. Now you can see that these are the pericytial leaves. Okay, I told you the pericytial leaves are present, and here the archegonium was present initially, and after the fertilization this structure formation took place, which is known as the sporophyte. Here you can see that due to this, because this is the archegonial branch, so due to the elongation of this branch, this entire structure, it comes out. You can see that it is coming out. So this is the capsule region, this is the foot region, and this is the pseudopodium. Why pseudopodium? Because as I told you that due to the elongation of this archegonial branch, and this is covered by a structure which is known as the vaginula. So this is the foot region, bulbous foot region, and this is the capsule region. As you can see, the capsule is surrounded by a epidermis. It is cuticularized, and inside the capsule there is a central region which is known as the columella. This is the sterile region, and this portion, which is, you can see the dome shaped structure, or this sac like structure, it is known as the spore sac, and here the spores are present inside the spore sac. Now this above region, it is known as the operculum. This is the known as this region, disc like structure, it is known as the operculum, and this operculum is actually covered by a this operculum region is actually covered by a ring-like structure which is known as the annulus. Okay, so this is all about the structure of the sporophyte, how the sporophyte looks like. Okay, so the LS of the sporophyte, how the LS of the sporophyte looks like, we have seen. We have some matter over here in this slide, that the zygote, it develops into the sporogonium, and sporogonium is differentiated into a spherical capsule, you can say, and a bulbous foot. The seta is absent in this case, and it is represented only by the constriction. In the case of mature sporogonium, the calyptra is present. Calyptra is actually formed by the division of the wall of the, you can say, the venter, and after the torning of the calyptra. Why torning occurs? Because the elongation of the apex of the archegonial branch occurs and it forms the pseudopodium. We have discussed earlier all these points, and here are the few points regarding the structure of the mature archegonium. If we cut the longitudinal section or LS of the sporogonium, then we can see that the spherical capsule is there, and the foot is embedded in the sac-like structure which is known as the vaginula, and in the pseudopodium is present inside the mature sporophyte, and this pseudopodium is formed due to the elongation of the archegonial branch. The capsule wall is 4 to 6 layered, and the outermost layer forms the epidermis. In the epidermis there are rudimentary stomata, or you can say the stomata are present although, but they are non-functional. And the cells of this wall, they don't show any intercellular spaces and they show the presence of chloroplast. So, and the entire portion of the central portion of the capsule, you can say, is actually occupied by a sterile portion or sterile zone which is known as the columella. But above the columella there is a dome shaped spore sac is present in which the spores are present. Okay.